What is up, fellow gamers? And that's gamer with a capital G. Ahaha! Nah, for real though, this game is called Gamer. Well, sort of. So back in 2013, Game & Wario was released on the Wii U, and it was great, which is weird because it wasn't even a WarioWare game unless you really squint. What I mean by this is that WarioWare is a series of approaches to the microgame formula, whereas Game & Wario is a series of minigames, one of which is a micromanaging microgame minigame. And if you don't get that, that's okay, Adam Nader didn't get it either. Anyway, all these minigames are good except for like half of them, but the one minigame in which I'm going to be talking about in this video is called Gamer. It's definitely the best single-player game in the collection, so much so that it got its own Smash stage. That's gotta be worth something, right? I've already talked about this game in my video about Flow, but I wanted to discuss it some more today because I just received 4 .9mm mechanical pencils on Amazon and I need to find something to write about. I didn't order these. So in Gamer, you play as a child who should be sleeping but is instead staying up and playing his game. On the Wii U gamepad, you play a series of microgames and you have 4 lives. Meanwhile, on the TV, your mother suspects you're awake and is constantly checking on you, so you need to feign sleep whenever she's near. However, you can't feign sleep for too long because if you do, you'll accidentally actually fall asleep. This goes on until you lose, so you're aiming for a high score. Now, if you've been watching the video at 0.75 speed, you may have already noticed that this is a great setup for a game focused on micromanagement. This is because you have to keep track of a bunch of things at once. The best micromanagement games generate and sustain a sense of anxiety. This is why Five Nights at Freddy's is a horror game and why each iteration after the first builds on the number of variables of which you need to keep track. At least I think that's true. I can't be bothered to play those games to research this video. Anyway, in Gamer's case, you need to be playing the microgames on the gamepad while also keeping your ears and eyes open for your mother. The microgames alone do a good job at building some degree of tension within the player, and that's amplified by the fact that the game necessitates some percentage of your attention to an external source. I think it goes a few steps further though, as the things you need to manage are all independent lose conditions. That's to say, you have 3 different ways of ending the game: losing all 4 balloons, being caught by your mother, or falling asleep. While you do need to manage all of these, they hardly, if ever, directly interact with one another, so it's hard to functionalize them. I'm just as surprised as you are that functionalize is a word, but don't worry, I did not use it properly in that sentence. Perhaps my reductive jokes are getting in the way of my point here, so let me make this simpler by using examples. Look at a game like Super Meat Boy. Your goal in this game is to reach the end of every stage. That is the win condition. This is a game in which your goal is to attain X. Next, look at a game like Tetris. Your goal in this game is to prevent the blocks from reaching the top of the screen. There is no win condition, only a lose condition. This is a game in which your goal is to avoid X. Now, bringing this back to Gamer, we see that it's more like Tetris. Rather than a win condition, you're avoiding the lose condition. However, like I said before, there are 3 of them. That's to say, your goal isn't to avoid X like in Tetris. It's to avoid X, Y, and Z, where these variables are all incidental lose conditions. The fact that you're juggling lose conditions makes it so much more frantic than win conditions, since failing just one means immediate loss. Add in the fact that these differing lose conditions aren't immediately linked to one another, and it makes it feel like you're playing multiple games at once. I've decided to dub this term polygame. I find that it's these polygamous games that have the most potential to invoke turbulent play, and it's nice because you don't feel like you're married to just one game. Anyway, that's one of many reasons I think Gamer is one of the greatest things ever. I think that's just about everything I have to say in this video, and Speckles the Mole is the antagonist in G-Force. Thanks for watcho.